Good start to the practice week. Guys that didn't go today, Jameson did not go today, so we'll have to reevaluate him tomorrow. I still say 50-50 come Saturday. Khalil Goulard's a little dinged up, but we expect him to be back tomorrow full speed and working with us again. Anybody else I'm missing?
Civil.
Andre was out today. He's still 50-50. We'll have to evaluate him, take a look at him.
Kickers, Federico.
Federico did not kick today. Right now, we would keep the depth the same as it was last week.
If Jameson can't go on Huggins, do you have to tweak the offense at all because he's a different style running back?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't think most of the good runners are very similar until they get past the line of scrimmage, and then it really becomes what type of runner are you. I'd say Savon is more in the slasher, run through your arms mold. A little bit more like Ray ran than Juwan would be. But I don't think we would tweak the offense in any way. I have all the confidence that Savon can take the bulk of the carries and do a really good job for us.
What about as a pass receiver? We haven't seen a lot of that, right?
We haven't. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but he's done a good job in practice, and he's done a good job as a protector. So it's not a situation where we'd have to take him out for certain things. He really is a complete player. He just hasn't necessarily had enough snaps yet to show that in games. But in practice, he's done all that stuff well for us. So I don't think any of it would change.
How much tape is there on the Cincinnati quarterback out there?
Well, we have a full game from last week, and I forget exactly how much he played, the week prior, but I don't think their offense changed very much when they put him in there. He's a different player for sure, and they have their reasons why they did it. I'm not going to comment on that, but structurally their offense didn't really change very much. So the way we would have game planned for the first quarterback would be very similar to how we would game plan for this one.
What do you like about Taj Alexander? What does he bring to the table?
I think that the things Taj has been able to do in his transformation coming from defense to offense is still play aggressive football. He's an athletic guy. He's a strong guy. And he's still learning some of the nuances of being an offensive lineman. So, he's not even close to being, I think, the finished product he's going to be. But I'm pleased with his progress so far. And I think he's gotten better as the season's gone on. And he's certainly gotten more reps in some games and less in others. But through the practice weeks, I think he's become a better player.
How much has Jamil Murrow been a best-case scenario for you at D-tackle following Ike's injury?
Jamil Murrow. Yeah, Mill, no surprise to me. I watched Jamil as a young player on the scout team, and I always felt he could be a very good inside, three technique, for lack of a better term, type of player. And just because of our personnel and our depth chart, he was also able to be a good outside player for us in the role he had. So I wasn't surprised at all.
With his size, too, that he could be an outside player?
I mean, he's a longer type guy, but Marcus Thompson's not as tall, and he's done a nice job for us. So I don't know that it's always that. I think when you play on the inside, you have to have a certain degree of toughness and fight in you, because every play you're going to probably get hit by two people, and you got to be able to fight off those blocks and play with a high motor. And he's got some similar personality characteristics to Scott Vallone in that sense, where he's a relentless player from snap to whistle.
Cal, what you're thinking with Jamal? With Jameson, with the short term versus the long term, in terms of maybe being more cautious with him because you have two even more important games coming up.
Oh, we don't think of it like that. If he is able to play and help us win a Big East championship game this week, then he'll play. If he's not able to play, then he will not play. We will not force him in there, in any way. But we're not thinking about big picture. We're not thinking about 3 games or bowl games. We're thinking about Cincinnati and being 1-0 this week. And if he can help us beat Cincinnati this week, he's going to help us.
Kyle, do you think the game there 2 years ago, how much did that shape this defense now?
I don't know that the game 2 years ago had an effect on shaping the defense now. I think there's different players on both sides of the ball. We have a different coordinator now, even though our system is the same than we did 2 years ago. So I don't know that game would have an effect on us right now.
What do you think there's been any key to being successful on the road, being 4-0 in a row so far?
I think you have to have older players who are able to focus and block out the distractions that come up on the road. There are distractions that come up at home as well, when you deal with more ticket issues and that type of thing. So, yeah, I think they're different situations. What we try to do from a program standpoint, I think like most people do, is keep the routine almost identical on the road other than the plane flight or the bus ride, and we've been able to do that. But I think the maturity of this football team has shown itself in a lot of ways. I think success on the road would be one. The ability to stay in games when you're down early is another. I think there's a couple of ways that kind of maturity will manifest itself through the course of the season.
Well, Cal, going against a team like St. Louis, I think you're averaging 34 points. Do you go in, thinking that you're? I know you usually say you just go by the way the game goes, but knowing how high-powered these guys, and do you go in thinking more aggressively offensive?
No, I think it would be a mistake to change philosophically what you are at this point in the year. I think they've got a good football team, and they're certainly going to try to execute what they do, and we feel like we've got a good football team, and we're going to do the same. And then I think, like as I've said, as the game goes, you certainly have to be willing to adjust the tempo and the pace of what you're doing one way or the other, depending on how it happens, because I've seen it happen a lot of different ways. I've been on teams that have been very good on offense, and we've had to win games 10-8, and I've been on teams where we've been really good on defense, and we've had to win games 40-38. And so you never know until you get into the game exactly what kind of game you're going to be in, and you just have to be ready to adjust from there.
Got time for 2 more? How have you seen the offensive line grow as a unit for this season?
I think we've made progress. I think we've been able to build on some of the things we did the last third of the season last year. I think what I would like to see is consistency of play every week, and I think the closer we can get to having that, the better we can be at the end of the year. I don't make any conclusions at this point. I think we've got too much football left to play. I think they've worked very hard. I think as a unit they've improved. To have 5 players who are either new or playing in different positions than they did last year, and have a new coach, I think it's a testament to them how quickly they've adapted and been able to improve and be as effective as we've been this year. But I think we can be better, and I think they think we can be better. So if we can continue to be consistent on a little bit higher level, I think our production will get better, and at the end of the year we'll look back and we'll be happy with what we did.